streaming could be something a little bit scaring, a little bit frightening, but with the right approach, with the right planning, with the right ideas, with the right intention, you can make it work for you. Today we're gonna have Alec Dorling, which started not so long ago his live streaming journey, and he will share his awesome ideas, his awesome journey with us. Stay tuned because we will be here talking about this in a moment. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Special Marketing Live Show. Today, we're going to talk about this Ground Zero to Hero, a nice way for you to set up your life, how you can excel live streaming, how you can make this easy approach in this sometimes scaring world. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Today, we are broadcasting on Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Awesome. Almost everybody in the world could watch us today. Even I think some people in Mars, they could see us as well. Welcome, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions during the show. If you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Don't forget as well, if you are watching on Amazon, please feel free to follow. If you are watching on LinkedIn as well, you can add me as well. So let's have a good time. Alec, it's our guest today. He's in the basement. I I let there a cookie and a glass of water as usual because I a good host to my to my guests. Unfortunately, this was to be made last week, but we had some technical problems, so today it's the day. So let's bring Alec to the screen. Let me do this because I think it's better. Hello, Alec.
Hi,
Welcome.
Marco. Very nice to be here. Welcome from Sweden.
Okay, so today it's kind of um, the emotional Portugal against the rational Sweden.
But
Welcome.
you know Portugal's one of my favorite places, and we have a common theme there.
Absolutely, absolutely. You already share with me. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, last Thursday I was guest on Alex's show. I had a great time talking about imposter syndrome. So you can go to his LinkedIn profile and check this conversation. So, Alec, first, thank you so much for joining my show. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to have you here. One of the things I learned about you the last couple of weeks is how much you like to plan things, and this for me, it's even though it's something that I appreciate, something that I it's value to me. The thing is, I'm a really unplanned guy, so I will learn with you lots of things today. Thank you so much. I would ask you to introduce yourself, and then we can start the conversation. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. And it's really nice to be here because I feel a lot more relaxed than when I'm running my own show. So it's like a holiday for me here today.
Okay, enjoy then.
So I guess I don't have the normal sort of profile of people that you might have on the show. My daily work is in the automotive area, and I'm daily working with autonomous driving, driverless cars, and it's my job to secure the quality, safety, and security of those cars that will be coming on the road in the next 3 to 10 years, depending on who you listen to. If you listen to Tesla, they're coming tomorrow, but they've been coming tomorrow for the last 5 years. So I'm in a technical background, but I've always had a passion for technology and gadgets. You should see all of the gadgets under my desk. I think I could set up a shop, and I always like to try things out. So I was blogging as a professional blogger before anybody knew what the term meant. I was also running online digital conferences more than 10 years ago with the bleeding edge technology. We set it all up, and the platform went down the day before. I nearly cried, but we recovered. I've done started doing a PhD in gamification, and
Whoa.
when I mentioned it to my supervisor, he said, "What the hell is that? You can't do a PhD in gamification." I said, "Why not?" It's. So we followed that, and I've always been using collaboration tools in my daily work. I use collaboration tools, and I've been running international projects covering more than 50 countries of the world, and that's allowed me also to visit the world and to determine which countries we hold our meetings in. So I have really friends right across the world. But after a long career now, we have to plan the retirement plans. And I want to take things rather in a different pace. I want to be 100% digital, and I want to give back to the community that I know. I want to serve them, set up the community, start working with them. And so I've set up two live shows. One is Step Up to Live, which is a beginner channel for those starting out on video and live streaming. And the other channel, Next Level, which is in the automotive area, where I already have a LinkedIn group of 7,000 dedicated active followers. So you talked about imposter syndrome. That has been one of my main problems because in my field, I'm well known as an expert professional person. And here I am wanting to go live streaming. I'm going to have to make all those mistakes. My peer group's going to be laughing at me. Am I an imposter? How can I go forward? So to solve that problem, I decided to set up a storyline with the hero's journey, and I can talk a little bit about that if you want me to.
Absolutely. But before that, I think it's important to make some context to our viewers. I know a little bird told me that you travel a lot
I
and
do.
also that you felt in love with some particular South European countries. And this is something that I need to ask you because this will meet our conversation.
Mm.
We are known, mostly Portugal and Spain, as the maybe the most emotional countries in Europe, big-hearted people, but at the same time we are a little bit kind of not so organized. And we know that, and I know that you are really organized person. How did you deal with that, and which things made you fall in love with these South European countries? Not,
Well,
not. I think it was not just the sun.
Yeah. Well, that it was partly. But first of all, as you say, I'm well travelled, and I have to deal with my groups with all the different countries, and I have a book, a back page of a book, which tells me all about the different cultural traits of people from different countries. So some people will always say yes when they mean no. Some people will shake their heads when they mean yes. And it's the Southern European hot headed and saying, yes, we do this, against the more reserved other countries. So there is a cultural aspect. But I am from the UK, from Manchester, home of good football. And we have good players from Portugal in Manchester United, Ronaldo.
Yes.
But having been in the UK, and my wife is not from the UK, we decided we wanted to have an adventure to work abroad. And I had lots of offers from Switzerland, from Canada, from whatever, but I was holding out for an opportunity in Spain, or should I say the Basque country, which is northern Spain, a little different. And eventually I got the opportunity. So we went to Spain for 2 years. And I have to say, 2 years of my life in Spain in the atmosphere was like 10 years of your life condensed into 2 years. You used to come home from work, get dressed, go outside, eat, have a glass of wine, go inside, friends would come, they go away. At 11 o'clock at night, friends would knock on the door. Right, we're just going for a walk on the coast. A different type of life. And of course, I had trips into Portugal with my meetings, and I love Portugal. I love the wine. I just keep away from the British people, though. And that led me to come to your hometown in Viana de Castelo. 1 year, I wanted to get away from the British, the Americans, the German, the Scandinavian, and I took a pin with a map of Europe and threw the pin, and it landed in your hometown. So we came and we avoided all of those, had a wonderful, peaceful time, went, with the fiestas and siestas. And yeah, I stayed on top of the basilica, on top of the mountain in the clouds, had a
Santa
wonderful
Lucia.
time. Yeah, yeah. So Spain is one of my second homes. My passion is there, but yeah, now I'm living in Sweden, so it's a little colder. We can ski here, but we're often regularly visiting both Spain and Portugal. So
Well,
it's the
next time.
passion. We love the passion.
Next
Yeah,
time you need you know what you need to do,
yeah.
right?
I know. We're waiting for that. Yeah,
Absolutely. So, one of the things it's easy to understand about you is that you adapt and you don't fear challenges, and
no,
this will lead us to this live streaming challenge.
yeah.
How did this came to your mind? Like, okay, you were watching Manchester United playing a game and let's go live. What was that
No,
sparkle?
no. So on the 1st of January in 2020, I made a New Year's resolution. Any future client or any future work I will do will be 100% digital. Otherwise, I will turn down the work. And then, of course, we got to March, and what happened? Pandemic. And everybody went digital. And my dream, I was going to exercise my dream of live streaming, and it got delayed by 2 years because the demand for my services in my normal working life, it just rocketed. And I decided live streaming's the future for all businesses. And if you don't get into live streaming this year and learn how to do it and be capable, then you're going to miss out on massive business opportunities. Businesses are going to be coming, wanting help, wanting assistance. A lot of new live streaming platforms, they want ambassadors. And I want a part of that business. And I want to withdraw from the automotive area and leisurely lean in to the live streaming activities and to make a business of it. So I have a strategy, I have a plan, and with that, we will get there. I aim to get there with my live streaming activities. And as you say, I started live streaming 12 weeks ago, and I've been very, very fortunate to be able to have some fantastic people on my show. But I took a purposeful plan, not just to go live, but I started to actively follow people in the live streaming area for 2 years before. So I was already in the community, already talking to them. So when I approach them, they already know me and they're very happy to come on the show and to help out. And I've really had some fantastic people in the first 12 weeks. And of course, I've had my failures along the way, but I can laugh about it, smile about it. And I think this has helped me over the imposter syndrome because I've taken this journey of starting at ground zero and going to a hero status. So people expect to have some failures along the way, and this is all natural. So this has been part of my overall plan.
And it makes sense. And the thing is, and I don't like to put that bad weight in that. The mistakes we made, because sometimes people say accidents and this all this, and this puts such a negative connotation in the things that. And for instance, even today, after more than 7 years going live, sometimes I start my broadcast with my microphone muted. Sometimes some cameras don't work,
Yeah,
and what do I think? What do I do? Anything. Let's keep moving and rock and roll.
yeah.
But
I think you have to
yes,
have a
yes,
backup plan, though. I mean, you shouldn't rely on one camera. You've always got to have another
absolutely,
one waiting there. The same with a microphone. You need another microphone there. If that does go wrong, you've got to get to your backup fairly quickly.
absolutely. And you mentioned, and I like to say that we have, when we talk about live streaming, we have mostly three dimensions. Okay, we have the knowledge dimension, our field, which is the one that we are supposed to know. Second, we have the technology dimension, which we talk about the microphone, the computer, the lights, the camera as well, and also the community dimension, which is important as well. Okay,
Mm.
because we are talking to them, we are not talking to the cameras. So many people say, oh, I don't want to be speaking to that square of glass, of this ground glass. No, you're not talking to them, you're talking to someone which is listening or watching you in the other side of the camera. But let's start about the gear, because also we are on Amazon and we should
Oh,
provide
I love
some
the
guidance.
gear. Now we're into business. Let's talk about gear.
And this is something important, okay? Because when we talk about gear, we talk about budget, okay?
Mm,
Because some people they have budget, some they don't, some they are in the betweens. We also need to think about how easy it will be for me to use it, because I don't want to be in front of the camera looking, trying to figure out how does this work while I'm doing the live. Okay, this is important as well. And also we need to look good. Like
yeah.
our camera should be had a nice image, our microphone should sound good, and whatsoever. Tell
Mm.
me your concernations about gear and how you overcome all of this.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to answer your question as you might expect because, as I said, I'm a gadget guy and I try out every new thing that's here. And I decided not just to put the foot in the water in live streaming, but to go all the way and have a strategy. So I actually invested a level above where most people would start. So everybody says start with your iPhone. I have an iPhone, yeah, but I don't. I'm sat at the desk all the time, and I have a DSLR camera, Sony A500, 5100, which is the entry point for a professional live
Yes.
streamer with a Sigma lens mounted on it. The thing about this is it has a flip up display, and one of the most difficult things I have had is looking into that camera lens. And I thought with a flip up display on top, you can keep peeking above, just raising your eyes. With the microphones, everybody talks about XLR or USB. I went for simplicity with a USB microphone, but I wanted to mix sounds, from the browsers, from other sounds, and one great solution for this is the Elgato Wave 3 microphone, and
I
it's the
can
same
tell that
one
you're
as,
using it.
yeah, Melanie Diane Howe uses it. Your colleague Stephen Healy
Yes, Steve
uses it.
Healy, yes.
It's a fantastic microphone. It's cheap for what it is, but it has a software mixer, so it it
Yeah,
it it caters for the future when you want to go that little bit further. One of
absolutely.
the problems I have in my little room, you don't tell that from the background. That's a green screen I'm using, which is actually just a straight pull down blind that you'd put on a window. It's attached to the ceiling, and I just, pull down the green screen and push it up again when I don't need it. It's fantastic rather than having a fixed stand green screen. But I need good lighting. I've had to invest in Elgato lights. So I have two Elgato lights, but I still found the problem with the lighting on the forehead. So I've actually got the Logitech Litra light, which I know you promote heavily, but that provides the fill in here and starts to take away a lot of the shine. But I do put face powder on my head to stop the shine. And my main PC, I'm not an Apple guy for PCs. I am for phones. So I actually have a Microsoft Surface Studio with a 27-inch screen. So I have really good graphics on the main computer and don't have resource problems with speed and memory and things like that. So, yeah, so it's not your entry level. but it's built for scaling up for future needs. That was my approach that I took.
Absolutely. And there's something important that about your approach. Yes, usually when we talk about gear, we tend to say start with what you have, because sometimes when we raise too much the bar, this could be a problem. When if our first live show or our first live shows don't go good, they go wrong. This could be frustrating and could be because as expectations they are a little bit up when you start with nice gear, okay?
Yeah.
Because if something goes wrong, it's easy for you to blame yourself, because the microphone is awesome, the lights are good, the camera it's amazing, so I'm the problem.
Yeah. But I have to be careful because in my normal daily work, I'm a known person and in a professional capacity, and so I needed to look good with the equipment from day one. So this is why I, started maybe one level up or one and a half levels up. But if you talk about software, now that's a different problem altogether. My graphics ability and using Canva and Adobe, you know, I am, starting with no experience and nothing there. So I have to use very simple apps to help me do what I need to do.
Well, the good thing about Canva, and let me share a secret, okay, just between two of us. I there's a I don't know if you ever listen to this here in Portugal. When, for instance, when you're not good uh, playing football,
Mm.
we tend to say you have two left feet.
Yeah, we
Like,
say that in England as well.
okay,
Yeah.
I I I'm awful. I'm terrible drawing, for instance. Even though I have some painters in my family, I'm awful. Okay, I'm really. If you ask me to draw a person, I will put that kind of a ball, some squares, and that's it. But the thing is,
Yeah.
with Canva, I've heard some compliments about my designs. You know,
Oh. Ooh.
yes, and the thing is, Canva, it's an amazing tool. And this is not sponsored by Canva. They didn't ask me to say this, but I'm pretty sure that you agree with me.
Yeah.
Canva,
Uh,
for those people who doesn't have that design background, it's a powerful tool. Don't you agree?
yeah, I think you can't do without a tool like Canva, and why choose something else? Canva does the job. If you want to go that little bit further, you can, subscribe to a paid plan, but basically Canva basic plan will do most things that you want when you're starting out, unless you want to do, real fancy graphics and do a lot of other things. Canva has to be the tool of choice for the front end graphics.
Absolutely. So, gear, check.
Mm.
Graphics, check. Which concernations you had also at the beginning?
At the beginning of the live streaming, uh, when the camera started with the Logitech, what is it? The Logitech
Rio
920? No, the 920.
C920. Okay,
Yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
one as
I
well.
mean, that's a great camera. It really is. All the Logitech cameras are, I think it served me well. But when I wanted the green screens and everything, the overall quality, I needed a bit more easy instantaneous focus. I went for the DSLR, but that worked fine. With lighting, I started with photographic light boxes, like you have on the big stands.
Yes.
They were just
Soft
too big.
boxes.
Yeah, they were just too big. They did the
Yes.
job, but um, not well enough.
Absolutely.
And with the microphone, I had a Samsung um, microphone, which was you know, desk on the desk, a very heavy one. It was a great microphone, but um, I wanted to have the ability to do the software mixing, and that's why I chose the
I got you.
Wave 3 microphone.
Yeah, it's a really good choice. Yes. And about the content, because uh, I, I have a co-host on Fridays, and he told once, "Yeah, we say often, okay, it's important to have a good image. Audio, it's even more important. Yes, they are. But if what you're saying, it's not interesting, it's not entertaining, it's not useful, forget about the rest."
Yeah,
How do you
yeah.
manage all of that?
Well, as I say, I will have two community shows, and when I go to the automotive show, which will start after the summer when everybody comes back from vacation, that'll have a slightly different format. I will maybe be a one-person show because they're imparting a lot of information. Whereas at the moment, I have a show with a guest, and because I'm ground zero, assuming no knowledge, and I have all these challenges to overcome. So imposter syndrome is one challenge, and you were kind enough to come on the show. We've had others about how do you stream on Amazon Live. I need to know. I need an expert to tell me. How do I prepare for a live video show? Do I need a checklist, or how do I go about it? And what fears do people overcome? The next show tomorrow is one of my mentors, trainers, is Michelle Moreno, and she's been in Hollywood TV shows, and she is gonna inspire how you get video confidence. So everything on the show is starting as a beginner. What are the challenges that you face, and what magical objects can come along to help you? I've also looked at bots and how I've seen people use bots on Messenger for you know organizing shows and things. I knew nothing about bots. I'm sure a lot of other people didn't. So I'm bringing the new topics for beginners, and my audience is LinkedIn. I'm not going for the YouTube market. I don't want to make money there. So I think a lot of people on LinkedIn are not exposed to this level of information. Maybe they find it on YouTube, but I want to provide some benefit to those on LinkedIn, especially business people, and hopefully downstream when the business executives need to go live with their companies, they'll think, aha, I know somebody who has gone through this who can help us, and hopefully they'll call. So, one of the aims is to be a live streaming producer, uh, uh, and whatever in that field. In the automotive field, it's a different monetization. There, I'm going for sponsorship and, showing the names during the episodes, running virtual conferences. So I have a different monetization strategy there. So in the step up to live, I'm just having fun, taking that straight mask off that everybody knows me, being able to let go, start to have some fun, and see how it goes. So there's a definite strategy there.
Absolutely. And there's something really important about what you just mentioned, because usually one of the biggest fears, obstacles, problems to start or to keep moving is that we don't know what to talk about. Okay. Oh, I have no idea what should I talk about. Oh my God. So you made it the right way. So let me talk about the things I want or I need to talk, because I don't know. I want to know more. And I think this is a really nice, interesting, and smart approach, because, and I mention this all the time. If
Yeah.
you don't have an advanced knowledge, if you're not known as an expert, start with these little things that you know, or at least are, and you're doing, in my opinion, you're doing it good, because you are bringing people which may help you as well, and which would share insightful information with your audience. I made the same some years ago. Okay, and this is also important for building or managing personal branding as well. Okay, but I think this is something really important and interesting for the people who are watching. When mostly when they are beginners, I don't know what to talk about. Talk about your doubts, about your questions, about your struggles. This could be a nice option. But I want to dig in something that it was surprising for me. It's how much you like to plan. When did this planning man thing started in you?
Well, in my daily work, and I run international standards for the automotive business, and we basically what I do, it is in the car, any car, you know, Mercedes, Volvo, BMW. There are about 150 computers. Most people don't realize that. And if these computers go wrong, the car's going to fail and you're going to kill yourself or you're going to get killed. So we have to make sure that the software in those computers, the people developing, have good processes in place, that they define exactly how they are going to do things, and that they have a plan, and that they adhere to those processes. So, I've been doing this for 25 years and I run the international standard and how we assess people. So for me, it's built in, having a process, step by step, having a checklist, and providing a structure. So I do, for every show, produce a runner show document, which tells my guest what's going to happen, how long we're going to spend on this, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, what's the structure of the show, and then how we're going to close the show and be able to help them to promote their products. It's a structure. I love best to go off off topic and talk freely, but it's good to have a structure to a show and to be able to pull things back, into the general theme. I think that's good for the people watching into the show. So I guess it's inbuilt in my daily work to have structure and plan and processes.
Awesome. That's. But I need to make this tricky question, the evil question.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you ever? And okay, you started 12 weeks ago, so maybe.
yeah.
But have you ever kind of lost the trace of the planning, and you were thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, this is going out of my plans."
No, I think there are two big lessons I learned. I mean, the most difficult thing has been looking into that lens, but when you start live streaming, you need a plan, and the first thing is I needed, as everybody says, you need consistency. So I needed stacked up something every week. And as soon as I got to that week, the next week was coming, you know, and I don't have enough time. So consistency has been one of my big headaches. And also, because I have a full time job, I needed to find the time to prepare and research and set up the run of shows and the graphics. I'm not used to that. And so I made a definite decision that the live streaming is my number one priority, and nothing is going to take that time, and everything else has to take second place. I think I have a question for you. So, when people are starting out, there's a lot of consultants, you know, join this 5 day challenge or join this 30-day challenge, posting every day or making a video every day. I tried that. After the second day, I've lost it because I can't keep up. I haven't got that time. And I don't think that is necessarily a right approach. I think people go into these boot camps and, you know, we're doing this twice a week. You've got to deliver this, then got to make you accountable. You just don't have the time. And people have normal jobs. So do you think it's a good thing to go onto those programs or not when you're starting out?
Well, it depends. Depends. For instance, if you have a good team, and not saying a big team, a good team behind you to have to back up you,
Mm,
okay, this could be a nice option. We should have in mind this is usually a lead generation process.
yeah.
Okay, you start with this free content, with these tasks providing value, and hopefully after 1 week or after 1 month you will show to your attendees this new product, this new service, this new training, and or consultancy, and hopefully some of them will buy. I'm a little, as Portuguese, I'm a little skeptical about this kind of programs, because okay, maybe some they will buy, but does the ROI, it's uh, profitable? I don't
Mm,
know, because this will consume. I think this for solo players like you and me, it's really risky.
mm,
I I thought about it. So far, I didn't had this feeling. Okay, I can do this.
mm.
Okay, it
I think
depends.
it's certainly good to start testing live streaming into a private group, and this was a big challenge for me. So before we could live stream into a private LinkedIn group, now you can't do that. So now the choices are YouTube or Facebook. So I chose Facebook, set it up as a private group because, you know, you need to do it. You need to have a couple of people there. But then, oh my God, how do I start this on Facebook? How do I do that? and other people were, it was second nature to them. And I'm not a Facebook user, and everybody assumed he knew what to do, and I didn't. So that was a big challenge for me. But it is good to start when you start to do it live with a couple of people around, but do it into a private group, a private Facebook group, or just record it like you and I using StreamYard. You can make a recording without going live. It's not exactly the same, but it is good to do it and get the panics out the way and look at yourself afterwards and try and learn from it before going live. I think it's good practice.
Absolutely. I always, and people sometimes they ask me, what do you think that it's the best way to start going live? And I say, I think I said this to you the other day. It's not going live, it's recording.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
everything is so scary when you're starting. If you go live for the first time, and there's so many ways for you to say, like, okay, this was awful, let me stop. Because it's easy, you have no people watching the show, you misspell something, you didn't hit the right button, or you didn't click the right button at the right time. The microphone was not working, the camera was not working, the internet was awful. There are so many, how can I say, things that you can grab yourself to them, like, okay, this is why I'm not doing this anymore. That I never say people start with live streaming. No, start with recorded videos, and
Yeah,
even not published. Okay, I
yeah,
say
yeah,
just record the videos, watch them, and then you can delete them.
yeah. So one of the things I haven't done yet, and I didn't think about 12 weeks ago, but it's becoming very apparent that you need to do, and that's repurposing. So now I've got, nearly 12 shows. I should have thought about repurposing and reusing some of the video clips, small clips, and to reinforce and provide more content. I just didn't think about this when I started out, so I'm gonna have some guests who can talk about repurposing. But do you think you need to think about this when you're starting out? Do you need to have it as part of a strategy, or just get over the initial thing of live streaming and then think about that as a stage two? Or what's your thoughts on the matter?
I think I think both approaches are appropriate. And I one day I came with this idea, and this happens, okay? Because we listen so many people talking about strategy, about thinking about the whole range of options, about everything. Let's think about this. There's a small kid, a small children around 1 year old, so it's the time that when he's supposed to start walking. If you approach to him and see, and you start yelling to him, look, you should run, you should put your feet like that, to run faster, and then you should balance that way, and then you should put your hand like that, he or she doesn't want to start walking because it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
If you think, okay, maybe I have this option. The good thing about repurposing, when you think in advance, is that you can plan, you can strategize your content to be more, for the process of reusing would be easier for you. In this scenario, I think it's amazing to think beforehand. Okay,
yeah,
because if you know, if you know, for instance, I want to reuse my content afterwards. For instance, instead of thinking about how to reuse content, you can think about 10 ways for you to reuse content. And with that, you have that content slices. Okay, you have this idea, this idea, this idea, this idea. Also, when we talk about live streaming and this interview, it was supposed to be about you, not about me. But
Yeah, I know.
the thing is, for instance, if I know that my content will be reused after, I will make this interaction with the audience really thinked, really deliberated. Instead of being every moment that someone comments, I will go back to him or her. I will say, okay, I will make a pause to talk with my viewers at that minute, and that minute, instead of being all the time. Because if you are
Yeah,
talking all the time with your audience, it will be a tough task for you to edit the content later.
yeah,
So this is something that, but for you, I think would be easier because you like to plan, you like to to make structure,
yeah.
and repurposing. It's a lot about structure and frameworking. Okay, so I think if
I learned a trick for one of my guests. They said, "Do you know why I'm raising this mug now?" And they said, "That's a signal to make a cut, to make a small clip. Whenever I put the mug up, I know later to search for that picture and then take the clip just before." I thought that's cool. That's a cool tip. Love that.
absolutely, that's how it is when
So
you have
you
this.
can have a Logitech mug or StreamYard mug, and there
Yes,
you
I
go.
have one. Yes, somewhere. I don't know. Oh, it's here. By the way, I have two of them from
Ah,
StreamYard. I have two mugs. Okay, the other
there you
one
won twice in the
o-
draw. Yeah,
over there. So
yeah.
when I put the left mug, it means something. When the right one is another one.
Yeah. You should have a glass for wine in Portugal, not a coffee cup. That's for sure.
Well, I cannot talk about it on Amazon, otherwise they will put my. Yes, Amazon in these things they are
Yeah.
really strict. So another thing that I like, and I think you're a huge fan of this as well, is intention. And we already talked about it because I think there's this that strategy. It's overrated. Okay. Another thing is we listen so many people talking about strategy and they don't have any idea what is strategy. Okay, some they uh, there's a misconception between strategy and tactic. So this is something
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I'm i'm more a fan of intention. Okay,
Mm.
I want to do uh, one weekly show because I want to have this. I want to start today interacting with live streamings because in a couple of months, in a couple of years, I want to start this. And I think you're a really intentional person.
Well, you might think that, but if I take this step up to live, first of all, I had to, think of the name and the brand, and that was good. But I generally have a vision of what I want to do, but I have no idea how I'm going to get there. And I always get there, and so I have this vision, and I start to do things, and I thought, I do this, I do that, I do that, and then all of a sudden it comes together, and you bring those things together, and it's like a rocket, and suddenly, you reach that end goal. So I started on this step up to live with a general idea, and in these 12 weeks, I've met so many people, and we have the discussions, and we're actually collaborating now on some quite very interesting topics, which I wouldn't have thought out of when we started out. But I think this is the sort of direction that it will push it in. It's it's I work in automotive, so in the early days, you asked people what they wanted. They said, "I want a horse that goes
Running fast.
faster."
Yes.
But Henry Ford said, "No, what
Yes.
you want is a car." So I have this idea what I want, but it might turn into something else on the way, and it will project it that way. So 12 weeks is short time, but it's now leading to very concrete things, ideas and visions, going places. So I'm really pleased about that.
Awesome. So we are coming to an end. Oh my God. But before that, I need to ask you something. And this
Mhm.
is something that I like to mention as well. I think, yes, I mentioned as well when I was at your show, because there's only this secret sauce and this one advice. I don't believe that anything is based in just one thing. So I would like to ask you, Alec, three lessons that you learn in this journey that you would like to share with our audience.
Well, the very first thing is you got to press that live button, and it's very, very difficult. And you might think you're ready, you get overwhelmed, and I think it's good to have some coach or some helper on your first couple of shows to make you accountable and push you over that edge. Because when you press that button and you've done it the first time, all those other things go away, and then it starts to become easy. So pressing that go live button, just do it. I know it's difficult, but you have to do it. You really have to do it. Once you get past that, you'll be okay. Um, the other big problem I had was looking into the lens, and I have a camera on a stand at the moment between two displays. I've had it sitting on top of the computer. I've had a see-through perspective lens. I've moved it all over the place, but you've got to practice looking into that lens, and it's very difficult to do when you're trying to, run StreamYard or whatever. So practice looking into that lens, talk into it, make yourself a 1 minute recording. Check, was I looking into the lens or not? Was I? I'm looking at Marco on the screen now. I should be looking in the
Yes.
lens. So that was difficult. And being consistent. If you're going to live stream, you have to be consistent. You have to make that effort. You have to be there every week if possible. And if there's some weeks you can't make it, you can do a pre-recorded show, which I did once. That was new to me. My guest couldn't make it because of the time differences, so we pre-recorded it, but we, then ran it at the normal time, and we could still interact on the live chat. So not many people would have noticed. I don't recommend it as a normal thing, but as a backup, it's always there if you can do that. So go for it. Press that live button. Just do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much. And now the last question: where does people can find you?
So at the moment, I'm a LinkedIn person. So it's just look on LinkedIn for Alec Dorling, one word, and you'll find me there. There's not many Dorlings in the world, so you will find me there. I've just bought into dot live and dot stream sites, so I will be setting up the community sites shortly. But I decided to do that after I got going with live streaming. So for the moment, LinkedIn, search on LinkedIn for my name, it will pop up very easily, and you can follow the bell if you want to see the posts.
Awesome, awesome. So, Alec, thank you so much. I'm not looking to the lens, but I'm looking at you. I'm pretending.
Yep,
Thank you so much. This was an insightful conversation. Maybe in the
yep.
future we can join again and share some ideas live or in real life,
In real life, I think yes.
hopefully. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Thank you for all of you who tuned in today. Thank you so much. Don't forget, if you are on Amazon, feel free to follow. Maybe I will be back on Amazon later. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. We will be back sooner or later. Bye bye. Enjoy the rest of the
All
day.
right.
See ya. Bye bye.
Bye bye.